Welcome to Views from the Floor podcast. This is Nico.
Just cuz.
Yo, it's Taz.
And we here, man. I know it's going to look a little different. The last 2 weeks has been crazy for myself. Your boy got the vid. You know what I mean? Just trying to be a good Samaritan, you know what I mean? Help out some family move. And this how they repay me, cuz. You know what I mean?
That's
Pay
how it
me
happens, man.
with good food and the Rona. So we got to do things a little bit differently. So you might not get that views crisp, clean, mixed sound like y'all like, but hey, we got to keep the show going.
We here,
But
baby.
I look a little gray over here. I'm trying to figure out how to.
you kind of look a little purple.
I know,
Dude,
right?
You know what I mean? I
Hang on a
kind
second.
of like it.
Let me check something out real quick.
All right.
You see the blacks? Can't get no new platform.
Hey man. Hey, this is all kind of.
There
Hey
we
man,
go.
just
That's a little
yeah,
better.
you good.
That's a
Listen,
little better.
this is very much a brand new thing for us. We just gonna have fun, you know what I mean, and keep it going. So, fellas, man, how's your last couple weeks been, man?
It's been straight.
Same old. Ain't done much. Just work.
You know, what's funny is, yesterday. Well, we recording this on the Thursday, but Wednesdays is podcast days,
Mhm.
and Justin hit me yesterday at like almost 10 o'clock. It was like, yo, bro, we not doing the pod today. I was like, fam, I done told you, bro. Like, he's like, for real? He said, man, I've been moving and running. It's like, I see the messages, but he ain't really seen them, you know?
Yeah, last week it was busy. I had to go to a funeral and all that stuff, so I was just all out of it.
So, I just been dealing with this shit. I've been all right, mainly. It's just all been in the nose, in the chest
Yeah,
area. That's
they got that. You got that. They got that Amarion.
Yeah, man. I've been saying for weeks, I'm trying not to let that Omarion, you know what I mean, dance on my fucking heart. And look what happened,
You
nigga.
know what happened? That motherfucker touched your ass.
He got me, cuz. Nigga moonwalked all over my nostrils, nigga. Pause. Yo, that's wild. Have another man moonwalking on your nostrils? Let's just move on. Everybody here got it, basically. The only one that didn't test positive was Kai, which is nuts.
That's very weird.
Didn't make no sense. He's the only one that didn't test, but I don't know. It's wild. But watching your kids having to get swabbed is one of the worst things on the planet, bro. I never want to do that again. So you nigga bitches out there need to start staying safe and leave me and my family alone.
Don't ask for shit.
Yeah, yo. Nah. Leave us alone. Like, we good over here. We don't bother nobody. We don't do nothing to nobody. Leave us the hell alone. You feel me? But that's all I gotta say about that, man. Y'all just, you know what I mean, get vaxxed. Now, if you do the information to get vaxxed and all that stuff, and you know, just stay safe out there, because eventually everybody's gonna get it. Everybody's gonna get it. I don't see no end to this stuff in sight. Everybody's gonna get it. It is what it is. Just stay safe. Try to stay as healthy as possible.
Yeah,
And live life.
that's it. That's
That's
literally
it.
it.
But even with that said, let's move on a little bit to these topics, man. So I want to get into something that shocked the hell out of me and Taz, because Taz is a former baseball player.
Yeah.
So I know you three guys seen it, but maybe our audience haven't seen it. But the Hall of Fame, they announced who made the Hall of Fame this past week, and yeah, man, I was pissed off about it.
Yeah,
I was real pissed off about it,
to say the
because
least.
the only person that got voted in was Big Papi, David Ortiz. Now I feel bittersweet about it, and I explain.
Mm-hmm.
David Ortiz is loved by everybody. There's not anybody that don't like David Ortiz.
That's a fact.
All three of us are Yankees fans, right? But David Ortiz is who he is. Like, he's a likable guy. But him to be first ballot Hall of Fame as a designated hitter is one, insane. Two, he also took PEDs and failed for it and got suspended 50 games for it. So the writers in the steroids era has been very, very cutthroat about not trying to let any steroids era players in. So how the hell did Big Papi get voted in first ballot Hall of Fame and not Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens,
I can tell you
and
why.
Kurt Schilling?
Because somebody had to go.
No.
I'm gonna tell you. That's how they was thinking. They were thinking somebody had to make it in. Out of them three,
no.
First of all, out of them three, Kurt Schilling might not be a first balloter, right?
No, it was his 10th year.
That's it for him.
His last year, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The only reason why Kurt Schilling didn't get in is because he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
So after his career, the things that he said in his analyst career is what hurt him in the Hall of Fame, which is wrong.
Like,
fuck
check this out. So check this out. Big Pop, like you said before, Big Pop is a likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about Barry Bonds.
Yep.
He wasn't really likable.
No, he's a douchebag too.
This man won his lounge chair in the that players area, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Roger Clemens. Not a really likable guy. So, I mean, like you said before, Big Papi, everybody loves Big Papi.
Everybody loves him.
That's the one thing that got him in. He's a likable guy. And this just tells you, like, the Writers Association, they don't need to have any form of control in voting who gets in. This should be a players thing.
Oh, absolutely, bro. So this is how I knew the writers was fucking up. A couple years ago, when Ken Griffey Jr. got voted in,
Mm-hmm.
he was voted in with like 99.3%, right? One voter didn't vote him in. And why didn't he vote him in? Because he was old and just didn't vote. He should have been unanimous. Unanimous first ballot. The first person that was unanimous was Mo Rivera.
Oh, it was Mo? Mo. Okay,
was it Mo? I believe it was Mo.
I thought it was there.
Sure? I'm gonna look that one up, but
it might be one of them. It's one of them too.
It's one. I
know it was one of the. It was one of the two, right? So that was then, like the Ken Griffey Jr. thing. I was like, all right, this is wild. And then you start looking at the writers who release their ballots. They'll vote for maybe like 6 people or 8 people, or not the like whole 10. I don't understand that. But to get back to what the topic on hand, Barry Bonds never tested positive for PEDs. Like I tweeted out on the day it came out, I was like, yo, there is no doubt in my mind that Barry Bonds took steroids. But there's also no doubt in my mind he should be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
You're right. It was Mo Rivera.
Let me say this. Oh, go ahead.
His career before 99, he was a Hall of Fame.
Exactly, he was.
The man had 2 Hall of Fame careers.
That's why this is a double-edged sword. It's kind of like, okay, I get it, right? You know how I feel about the nigga, right? So at the end of the day, though, he is a Hall of Famer. However, in anything you do in life, you know the consequences to what you do. So it's like this. It's like this. He is somebody who pisses me off in this conversation because he never needed to use him.
Absolutely.
So because you use him and people say, oh, it has no effect on his legacy, it absolutely does. He would not have 70 home runs if he did not if he did not use steroids. It wouldn't have happened. 73. Wouldn't have happened, Nick. Because
I don't know.
The problem with steroids is like if you can see the ball and you have an added power, you gonna be out of here.
I guess my thing is this though, bro. Right? With Barry Bonds, again, he never tested positive for PEDs as long as his career. It was just the doubt there. But my thing in the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame is about telling the story in the history of baseball. That's why they including Negro League players. That's why they including players pre-1900. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff. All that stuff is included, right? I mean, in the 80s, and predates all of that, everybody was taking greenies. I mean, Darryl Strawberry was talking about on live TV on the 30 for 30.
But this is the thing
the
about
ball
barbiturates.
was like a beach ball.
But this is the thing about barbiturates. Like it can help, but that shit also fucks you up. So at the end of the day, as much as it was helping, it also was hurting.
Steroids do that too.
Kind of, sort of, but it depends on the type. Like that's why you look at somebody like Sammy Sosa, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who the fuck is he without steroids?
Yeah, I don't really put Sammy in this. I put people like
I know
Barry Bonds was great. He was great without him. He was great with him. It didn't matter. Like it was people like him. Alex Rodriguez is a Hall of Famer. It don't matter how you slice it. Like he got suspended for some shit he did. Suspended for a year for some shit he did 10 years prior. Like, so regardless, he's a Hall of Famer to me. A-Rod's a Hall of Famer. Roger Clemens definitely a Hall of Famer.
Definitely.
Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. If everybody in the steroids era was taking steroids, pitchers included, we know a bunch of pitchers that was taking steroids. It wasn't just hitters.
Andy Pettit came out and said he was taking it to get back on the field. Same as
Mark McGwire.
Exactly.
He's a Hall of Famer for sure, but he took steroids his whole life. It seemed like. But see, from Oakland all the way through.
But then how was he a Hall of Famer?
Everybody was taking them.
If
everybody's doing the same thing, right?
No. But it doesn't have the same effect on everybody. So this is my. I get what you're saying, but this is why it's skewed, right? So if you already have, because you can't just say because everybody got the talent, right? You gotta look at somebody like Rod Carew, right? Imagine Rod Carew hit over 3,000 hits. Imagine if this nigga had steroids. He would have been out here homering and all types of shit. It changes things. So when you think, and listen now.
No, I'm not gonna say.
I get exactly what you're trying to say. Oh, everybody uses them, but it's different with pitchers as it is with hitters. It's different.
I guess if your arm don't never get tired,
it's different.
If your arm not getting tired and you able to throw 98 consistently, then what is it different?
Because look,
let's just say for the sake of argument, right? For the sake of argument. Eric Gagne is not a steroids user, but at the time, during the Barry Bonds era, when he was dominating shit, he was the best closing pitcher, right?
84 straight.
Remember when the matchup came between him and Eric Gagne? Say if Eric Gagne we don't know if he ever took steroids or not. It's a steroids era. Who knows? What if he was taking steroids and it was steroids versus steroids and Barry Bonds got the best of them? It is what it is.
Nigga, see, it don't matter. He still was Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds with steroids. Barry Bonds being who he is, and then with steroids is like having a 99 fucking player on NBA 2K. That's what I'm saying.
I feel you, dog. But he was 99 regardless. Like he was 99 in everything.
But think about it. He's a 99 going up against people. This nigga was a 67. Now he at 82. He's still that 99 still knocking out that 82, or even if that 67 is a 94. That 99 is still better than a 94. That's why I don't feel bad for him.
That he didn't make the Hall?
No.
Yo, that's wild. Like
because He didn't.
He had 10 shots. He had 10 shots, and each time they was like, "Nah, because you took steroids." But he never tested positive.
Okay, but did Whitney Houston? We ever see her smoke crack?
Huh?
Did we ever see Whitney Houston smoke crack? We know she smoked the crack. So that's all I'm saying.
Yo, you wild. You wild. Yo.
Sorry, Nathan. We didn't mean to throw you in here, but I had to show him.
You wild, bro.
Anyway,
but
go ahead, Taz.
But check it. So my thing is, when it comes down to it, we should look at it like the court system. If you can't prove that I did it, you can't prove that I did it. Yo, the signs are there. We knew
even
the man's
with the
head
court
swole
about
up.
it.
No, exactly. They went for the Balco thing, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, they never found positive. They never found him. They never found him guilty of anything.
He went to
so
federal court.
Put the man in the hall.
He should be in the hall.
These salty butt writers out here, they should not have any control whatsoever. That should be like a small quantity of them. The ones that are very trust, like Tim Kirchin. I trust him. Yeah. But like these other guys, man, no. Come on now, give that power back to the players. Let them.
The players should have a say just as much.
They should.
I think they should have a say. I think it should be equal though.
Yeah, like, they should have a say just as much as
not really writers as much as I feel like it needs to be like managers and players.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, like you can have writers, but they gotta be of a certain credential. Like you said, Tim Kirchin, Buster Olney, you know what I mean? Like
those guys.
You know, guys that was players that turned analysts that, you know, got a certain amount of years under their belt, all that stuff like that, for sure. But like I believe I believe all of them should be in the Hall of Fame. I do
as well.
Like I think Barry Bonds should. Absolutely.
So check it. Pete Rose.
That's what I was gonna get to. Pete Rose too. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Now, I understand towards the part where he was a player coach or player manager thing. That's when the whole scandal about him shaving points and all.
But he lost him money. He bet on himself to win.
Exactly. So my thing is, why as a player, this man had over 2,000 hits in come on now, like, or whatever it was,
over 4,000 hits.
My bad, 4,000 hits, 5,000 hits. It's 5,000, I think. I think it's 4. Is it 4 or 5? I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter.
It's 4,000 hits.
4,000. The man could hit the ball. And he's a Hall of Famer. End of story. Come on now. Put the man in. But he can't get in now, but I'm still saying. I'm just saying.
I mean, they can.
They
can. They just gotta every year it comes up, and then it's up to the commissioner to take him off the ban list. 2 players need to be taken off the ban list. Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Oh,
period.
Now, why in the world is Shoeless Joe on there?
Because they said him and the Black White Sox, they threw the World Series, even though he hit over 400. He hit over 400 the whole entire series.
The man had a batting average of 400?
400 the whole entire series. The man dominated the whole entire time. He caught every out, and everything. He played the game the right way. He didn't throw it whatsoever. Was hitting home runs, all types of stuff. Was hot as hell. But they
sounds like a bunch of salty people to me.
They threw the game, and because they threw it, he's been banned since early 1900s.
Now, I was looking at something, and it was like, basically they can get in, like Ken Barry and them get in on like a historical selection when they get old.
Yeah, so
they gonna wait till them niggas die, bro.
No, so in December they can be eligible to get voted in through the historic committee.
Like they gotta be Cowboys.
Yeah, but they gotta be picked. They gotta be picked for it. I think like 10 people get picked or whatever.
And then like a Centennial team or something like that.
Yeah, like so then you know how like the NFL, they always have like they have the finalists, and then they have like the older generation from like it might be the 70s this year, or the next year it might be the 20s, or well, it don't go back that far, but you know what I'm saying, like it's from a different decade. That's what baseball does. Baseball does, like, you have certain players and then managers and then players from different generations that didn't get in, but the numbers might be like they might be on the cusp, but they was just overlooked through their 10-year period.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now looking back at it, they got more information so people can vote them in. But speaking about just being banned and blacklisted and all that stuff, I want to transition to this topic that's been just raging around just the airwaves. It's not just in the sports world, but it kind of ties into regular business world as well. So the NFL and black coaches right now, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a right now thing. It's like
It's
since the
been.
inception. So like there's 70% plus African Americans that play in the NFL. There's one black head coach right now.
One. Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin. He's been there. He ain't never gonna leave. Steelers don't fire coaches. One. And two, every coach they had won a Super Bowl. So like he's straight for forever. Unless he do something crazy, which he ain't gonna do nothing crazy.
Nah.
He'll be there until he die if he wants to. And it's like, so with Brian Flores, he had a interview with the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He wound up releasing a text message from Bill Belichick, the greatest NFL coach to ever live,
Ever.
and said, "Hey man," he basically was telling them he had the job. He was like, "I don't interview until Thursday. Did you hear something?" It's like, "Yeah, hearing out of Buffalo, hearing out of New York, you got the job." He was like, "Thanks, coach." And then he went, "Wait a minute, you talking about me or you talking about the other Brian from the OC from Buffalo?"
Buffalo.
He was like, "Nah, I'm talking about him. I fucked up. My bad." That was his words. "I fucked up. My bad. Best of luck to you, whatever, whatever, blah, blah, blah." He was like, "Thanks, BB, whatever." That's going. I think if he never got that text message,
This would never happen.
He would have never said anything.
Mm-mm.
But because he got the text message, basically, the guy never even interviewed for the job, and he had the job already. And they still was going to take the interview with the black coach.
Because of the Rooney Rule.
Because of the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule states you gotta interview at least two minority candidates. You gotta interview two minority candidates before you can hire somebody. And it was 9 openings, and all five of the openings are all white coaches, aren't they?
Yeah, because the Vikings are getting ready to hire the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that's, and it's like, well, the Jacksonville job is still open. Byron Leftwich he's got another interview coming up, I believe, or he's already had two.
Brian Leftwich today announced that he's pulling out of the Jacksonville gig.
Okay.
So that goes to tell you that right there. Also with the lawsuit. Also with the lawsuit, he said that the owner of the Dolphins offered him $100,000 for each loss so he can get draft picks. That's insane. That is worse. The reason why I wanted to go to this topic was that essentially is worse than what Pete Rose ever did.
Yeah.
In baseball, Pete Rose bet on his team to win, and they lost. He was taking his whole franchise down and telling them, "Y'all don't play hard because I need a draft pick." That's fucking insane, bro.
As a black coach, if you go along with that, one, you're shooting yourself in the foot already, because Absolutely. Now my record looks terrible. So when I do end up getting fired from this job or leaving this job, it's going to be very difficult for me to get another job. It's already difficult to get black coaches in there anyway. So why in the world would I literally purposely lose games to make money, and then not have a career in the NFL ever again after this? Because I mean, what franchise is going to want to pick me up if I got a losing record as a black coach.
Nobody.
We could look at Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher had what 7-9 seasons, 8 seasons when he was with the Rams and Tennessee.
Yep.
He still got jobs. But how many black coaches with a losing record do we see?
None.
Exactly.
None.
But
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just don't understand why it's like this with NFL coaches. You remember it's been like that with black quarterbacks as well, until they just couldn't deny it no more.
Yeah.
It was like every D1 school had
a black
quarterbacks that was just dominant, and it's like, all right, are you not gonna get them now? Like, what you gonna do?
Right.
There's too many of them that just keep on passing up. Then they come into the league, win MVPs, and then, you know what I mean? Like, just keep it moving. Like, it's no denying them no more. When is it going to get to the point? Like, I heard something Ryan Clark said. He was like, it is a person like Mike Tomlin. Is he actually hiring people that look like him, that are qualified for the positions, or is he not hiring them because he's trying to keep his job? That's a very great. I don't know what the answer is, but it's a great question. But why? But also too, though, is on the flip side of that. Why does it always take for us to get a position, and then we have to be responsible for putting everybody on that looks like us?
Well, I'm gonna explain that. So, you ever y'all ever seen the movie Head to State?
No.
With Chris Rock?
Nah, I haven't watched it.
All right, so basically, they wanted to lose.
You said Head of State.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Hold that thought. So Doug Peterson just got hired as a Jaguars coach.
Fuck out of here. Anyway, keep going.
Go ahead.
All right, so to that point, so on Head of State, they wanted to get the black person just because he was going to be popular with the black vote to win. And when he found out, they were sitting at the table, and he was like, "Are you going to quit now that you know that you have the odds stacked against you?" He was like, "No, I can't quit, because if I quit, then it won't be another one for the next 50 years." And that's kind of like how it is. It's like you don't know, especially with these type of positions, is if I don't get it, or if I do get it, right, I can't tank, because if I do bad, they won't have another head coach for forever. You know what I'm saying? Or if I do get hired, I'm expected to hire black people. But if I hire all black people, I'm just hiring them because they black. It's a double-edged sword.
That's why I asked the question. It wasn't so much a like negativity with the question I asked. It's a genuine question. It's a question of, it always comes down to us putting us in power, when it should just be, there's many of us that are qualified for all types of positions: tech jobs, coaching jobs, job at Adidas, gas station, you know what I mean, wherever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big, how small. There's plenty of us that are qualified, just like it's plenty of all types of people from all walks of life that is qualified. But why is it always comes down to, there's a good old boys club in certain industries that only likes a certain look for their company or entity, and then that's that, and we just got to live with it.
I mean, I live that life, so I understand. But you know what it is too? I think it is. It used to be like, why don't they just, why aren't they hiring black people? Or back in the day, they was like, oh, they're getting this because of affirmative action, all these things. When you look at it now, you go into a room where it's one of us and one of them. And I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times we more qualified. We have more credentials or whatever, but they're going to pick them because they fit better in their environment that they have, because the environment is built for them. They don't think that we'll be able to thrive in an environment that isn't necessarily built for us. But you have to understand, we live in America. We are living every day in an environment that is not built for us, and we are thriving. To even make it here is me thriving. So you got to understand, you have an advantage a lot of times when you hire a black coach because they already know how to deal with adversity. Not to say more than the white coach, but there's an extra added thing on top of just being a good athlete or being a good coach to get to that point.
Yeah.
No, I asked this question. I was like, why is it that society is so threatened by black success? Like, that's a question that I always ponder. It's like whenever we get something, someone's got to try to knock us down. Let's look at Black Wall Street. I mean, we had a thriving.
It blew it up.
There you go. I mean, this wasn't just regular people. They were planes flying overhead, dropping bombs, which lets you know how deep that rabbit hole goes. Where we're talking government, exactly. So my thing is like when we get some positions of power, it's like we have to walk on eggshells. So I might hire an all-white staff because it helps for the look. But if I hire all black folks, of course, they're gonna be like, oh well, he's hiring all blacks because he's black, of course. But also, if I fail with an all-black staff, that makes me look bad. And it makes all of us look bad.
It's so fucked up, man.
But that's an anomaly. They always say, "Oh, that makes all of us look bad." No, don't. All of these white coaches been failing for years. It don't make them look bad.
So that's the narrative.
I think that's his question, though.
Oh, I know. I'm just adding on to.
It's just it's fucked up all the way through and through. But again, I think it can't be with this class action lawsuit, and then with Hugh Jackson going, yeah, I had the same shit that happened to me with the Browns.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I think there's something a little bit, but with Hugh Jackson, but again, I don't know because like Jimmy Haslam said, he was like, yo, his last year there, 8 games through, he was 2-5-1.
So he should have made a lot of money.
He was like, when he left, we went 5-3. So if that was the case, but Hugh Jackson's whole thing was they had a 4-year plan. Basically, they was going to tank to get good, kind of like the 76ers. They was going to tank to get good, and it just so happens when that motherfucking left, they got really good.
Yeah.
And then now it's just Baker can't beat Baker. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Think about that. Like, I lost my thought. Crap. But see, with Flores though, I mean, there had to have been something to it because I mean, this man, the first 7 games of the season, they went 1-6.
They was 0-7.
0-7.
They was 0-7. If you wanted to fire him, you supposed to fire him.
1-7. They were 1-7, I think.
Okay.
1-7.
Yeah.
Whatever. That doesn't matter. But and then they literally like ran off the end of the season. And
then they won 7 games in a row, got over 500, and then they wound up being 9-8.
Right. So it's like, okay, he showed progress, which lets you see that okay, the team wasn't performing well. Something clicked. Right at the ship. Now look, you almost made the playoffs. But the thing is, like, the optimism there is okay. Well, everyone's healthy now. Let's see how next year's going to be. But no, you fired him after his second season.
Third season.
Third season. Okay. So, but I mean, come on, man. That man did not deserve to be fired. But I think that because the fact that he wasn't tanking.
Yeah, they got rid of him.
That's what got rid of him. It's like, look, I'm gonna have somebody that can play ball with me. If you can't be on board,
yeah,
there's a dope, bro.
Which again is a form of censorship. And speaking of censorship, like, so another thing that's been going on is Joe Rogan. I don't know if y'all guys heard about this controversy or whatever.
Very.
Joe Rogan is very much a person that will have any and everybody come on his show.
He don't care who y'all.
Don't care who it is. It doesn't matter if they go against his points of view. It don't matter if it goes with his view. Sometimes he just get people on just to come on that he don't give two shits about. Really,
Facts.
he just want to have conversation and then whatever. Well, a lot of people now are talking about how he spreads misinformation about COVID and this whole pandemic and all that type of stuff, to the point where there's artists that taking their music off of Spotify because he has an exclusive deal with Spotify and his pod is on Spotify, and they taking the music off, even so much to where I think they lost $2 billion last week or whatever because of it. Joe Rogan came out and apologized and was just like, hey, like, I just have people on that sometimes I don't agree with, sometimes I do agree with, but I'm not spreading misinformation on purpose and, basically all that stuff like that. But people wanting to signing petitions and all this stuff and want to boycott Spotify they want to take his podcast off of Spotify because of it. And I'll give you my thoughts and then I'll turn it over to you guys. I think when you start taking away people's true freedom of speech, then that's when you have a problem. So with podcasting and music alike, let's just take it in music, for instance. Music. NWA got banned from a lot of places. Luke and the Two Live Crew got banned for a lot of places until they won that lawsuit. It's under the First Amendment. I can say whatever I want to say on record. I can go outside and say whatever I want to. I can start a podcast and say whatever I want to. It's freedom of speech. It's up to you to have the frame of mind to see or hear if my opinions that I'm talking about on this subject is factual or not, or if it's something you just like to listen to, if it's reality or it's not. You can't take away somebody's freedom of speech. It's not the same as me or you going on Twitter and saying, I'm going to beat my homie's ass, and then they suspend you for 12 hours. Thing about that is an entity on its own that allows you to come on a platform for free. If they don't like what you're saying, they can get rid of you.
That's the terms and conditions.
Period. But on these platforms that has music and podcasts and such like that, it is not like that because it's all under the freedom of speech in the First Amendment. Yeah. And I believe he should keep his podcast.
Definitely.
Spotify said they will now put disclaimers on the episodes that talk about COVID-19 and other different things, which
they should.
Sure, go ahead and do that. There's no problem.
Yeah,
there's no problem in that. You know what I mean? No problem in that. But to take away his podcast, I think would be ultimately wrong. And I just want to hear your thoughts on it.
So for me, I kind of agree with your points. I don't agree with a lot of shit he said on there, right? But that's his thing, and you don't have to listen to it. Yeah. It's his podcast. Like, y'all don't like what we say here, then don't listen to this shit.
Right.
So, I think I've said this before. We've gotten to this place because for so long, like, people always talk about, like, oh, we are so PC now, but for so long, people got away with anything, any and everything. So now you're to the point now where it's just so police on everything you say. I think we don't know when to stop. You have to get to the point where you be like, okay, all right, It ain't got nothing to do with me. Let me stick my head over here. And people have a right to feel the way they feel. And I think part of it is because people aren't watching their children. That's what a lot of this is. Like, if you pay attention, it's not necessarily, well, it's adults too, but a lot of these kids or whatever are hearing these things and they're going to act out what they hear, not realizing that he's just giving this person a platform to say how they feel or whatever, or give his opinion on certain things. That don't necessarily make it a truth, but you have people who are knowledgeable who take it as a truth and bring it out into the world, and they cause destruction and confusion.
Yeah.
So now you just at a place where it's like, well, the only way to stop that is to censor it. And it's a weird angle to take because I feel like the only way to stop it is to spread the correct information. Right. And make sure the correct information is given. But to the other side of that, how do we know when we're getting the correct information? Because we're getting information from all these different places that are supposed to give us real information, but are giving us their opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the whole Joe Rogan thing, like you said, he's willing to have anybody come on the show. And the thing is, if they disagree, the first thing all these doctors came out who aren't really like doctors, like virologists and all this stuff. They come out and say he's saying is misinformation or disinformation or whatnot. But my thing is, they always go to the extreme of let's cancel him, let's take it off, get rid of him, no more Joe Rogan. My thing is, if you disagree with the information, how about you come on the show and put out the correct information? It's like no one ever wants to have a sit down anymore and just have these cordial talks and conversations where information is being brought to the table. They say, hey, I heard what you said about this. I feel that was, I'm not gonna say I feel it was incorrect, given the research and science behind everything that I know of this, that is incorrect. Here is the correct information.
But I wouldn't in this era.
It's like critical thinking and critical, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just critical discussions. It doesn't happen anymore because people are so quick they're so quick to want to just like not be challenged in their thought and thinking. They just like, look, cut it off.
I think a lot of it. Oh,
go ahead.
I think a lot of it is that task, but I think part of it is like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go on his show because I feel like it would automatically be taken the wrong way. It's going to be twisted all the ways that they want it to be twisted.
Or invite him.
No, I mean, I don't trust it. It's still going to be twisted however they're going to twist. It's like, it depends on who you're going to talk to. Mm-hmm. I can't go. I feel like it all depends on the person, right? Like, I don't have nothing against Joe Rogan. I think he says a lot of bullshit. I think a lot of his shows bullshit. But at the end of the day, that's his opinion. He has a right to say whatever he wants to say. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like if Nick, Justin, and Taz were on that show, our views would be seen properly. And I think certain people who go on that show, their views won't be taken correctly either. So you got to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, because you got to look at who the audience is as well. So you're right. Like going on there, it's not going to be seen the way you would want it to be seen.
Yeah,
because like you said, he's going to twist. People are going to twist it.
Not necessarily.
We see a lot of that going on. Not necessarily him, but people in general are going to listen to him and be like, because it's sometimes it's like a cult following with people. It's like they don't care what other information is brought to the table. This is their cult leader. I'm going to follow.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. Just you got to realize, educate yourself. No matter what, just because it's in a book or because some famous person that you think is credible says something. Even people that do this all the time, like do your own research. Don't just research what you think will help your own narrative. And I think that's what a big part of society is now. There's so many different
voices
and different outlets to find exactly what you're looking for, but exactly what you're looking for might not be the right answer.
And that's the thing. People a lot of times only search out the things that are going to validate what they believe already. Just get out of that echo chamber. Listen to opinions that you don't agree with.
Right.
Because I always say it's this person's truth, this person's truth. I think the actual truth is somewhere in the middle.
It's very true. Very, very true. So, fellas, Mr. Justin, you got a black as fuck today? Or are we gonna skip that one for today? It's I know it's been hectic.
I got a little something.
All right.
All right, so for this episode of Black as Fuck, I kind of want to talk about taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul. So a lot of times, well, not even gonna put it there. I'm gonna talk about something that happened the other day. Right? I was at work. All you hear is some foolishness going on in the hallway. Right? You see these two black girls just arguing over some stupid shit. Somebody fucking somebody boyfriend or whatever. Right? And in the climate that we live in, you always see like the picture of black people, of especially what they see of us. So for me as a black man in America, that's a trigger for me, right? It's just always been. I always hate for us to be seen in a certain light. So for me, like that shit threw me off. Like it didn't make me upset or nothing like that, but just kind of fucked me up because I'm like, y'all niggas out here making us look bad, being foolish and shit, right? So and I was in the car and I was just meditating and shit, getting right, doing my prayers, and this girl like was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just meditating and praying." She was like, "So what does that do for you?" I was like, "Really, it clears my head. It kind of centers me, and you know what I'm saying, it makes me be ready for the day." She was like, "Well, maybe I need to try that." And I was thinking like, especially us in the black community, not saying that y'all need to take that same stance that I take, but that it's very important to take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. Like your spiritual aspect as it pertains to soul. Maybe even if you don't believe in a religion or anything like that, you need to have a center that you can always go back to that can guide you. And like your body, that's something I've been working on a lot because your body's your temple.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to eat right, and y'all know I like me some nicotine. I like a little bit of liquor. But I've had to cut back like 100% because it's like shit ain't doing right for my body. You know, if I want to achieve certain things, I gotta have a clear head. I gotta be able to think on the fly. My body has to be in pristine condition. My mind has to always be clear. So it's like, in order to get to the places that we want to go in life, we got to make sure we have that balance. And as it pertains to mind, always be willing to learn. You don't have to just like at work. Every chance I get, I try to learn something new every day. When I come home, I try to learn something new every day, as it's reading or learning a new skill or whatever. You got to constantly be learning, especially us as African Americans in this country. We cannot want to be average. We weren't built to be average. We have to want to be better, not just for ourselves, but for our family and our generations to come. We got to be able to build a foundation because a lot of us don't have that already solidified. We have to be the first ones to build it. And you have to have all the tools at your disposal to be able to do that. So, yeah, take care of your mind, your body, and your soul.
That's a good one. That was one that was very needed, sir.
Y'all nigga, I'm gonna tell y'all, I be coming with this shit off the fly, nigga.
Hey man, after these last couple weeks, dog, I didn't even think this was gonna happen. It was so much stuff going on, like outside of the pod, and then there was stuff going on in the world that I wanted to talk to y'all about that I ain't think we was gonna get to. So just to have a black as fuck from you, sir, that hit on the spot of things, you know what I mean? I've practically been going through the last couple of weeks, so I appreciate you. Taz, you got a words of wisdom for us, sir?
Yeah, hang on a sec.
Uh-oh.
We got a whole episode for real for y'all.
my
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
Hang on. Okay, I gotta make sure I can make sure. Phone's weird. All right, so here we go. Okay, so my words of wisdom for this episode are: always make your important choices in life based on your values and long-term objectives rather than the need for approval. You must push daily to make your happiness happen. Remember, your happiness will be the result of your happenings.
Hey man, I'm just gonna let y'all know something, right? So we've been talking the last couple of weeks, but like not really been talking. But I needed both that black as fuck and that words of wisdom.
Has you seen my
I,
face?
I'm just gonna let y'all know that I won't go into much detail on the pod, but yeah, man, I'll talk to y'all about that in person. But
All right.
yeah, I appreciate both of y'all for that. I gotta come up with some like gift to gab shit too, man. You know what I mean? Come off the top of the brain with that. Um, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for this was y'all out there. This was very last minute. This was something that we threw together because we figured like, man, we're not gonna let too much more time go by and not, put
Put
out the
something out there.
content. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Like I said, we like doing this shit. So to throw this stuff together, that means that should show everybody who watch us like, yeah, this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
yeah, man. I got any last words before we close out? Don't look like it because there ain't nobody say nothing.
Black history is American history.
Touche.
We
That's
Black
true.
365. Remember that.
Hey, man. All I'm saying is this: we can talk about this next week, maybe when we get together. But we don't really need Black History Month. We need to put we need to put pressure and the emphasis on learning Black history every day.
I
tell my oldest daughter that and her friend,
Yeah.
who are both very much interested in Black history. I tell them every day.
Tell people stop segregating us. Stop segregating us.
It's not about segregation, y'all. This is the thing. I think we forget it ain't for us.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
They need to know our history.
Yeah, so
it needs to supersede 28 days.
Yeah,
or 29.
I think Justin said it. I think Justin hit the nail on the head. Like
he did.
Don't give a shit as it is. Don't be trying to take shit away.
Yeah, that month is for everybody.
But us.
But
that's
us.
a fact.
You know what I mean?
So also tell these people stop being out here with these kente cloths on, trying to repurpose certain things to try to fit. Yeah, Bath and Body Works. I seen that display. I seen the display. I seen it. Y'all selling the same candles, just putting kente cloth design on stuff. Come on now.
Don't be trying to appropriate our shit.
You know what I'm saying, right? We out here doing that.
It is what it is at this point, right? And on that note, go ahead.
Support a Black business this month.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Support a Black man.
Hey, black business, Black men, Black women, Black children, everybody 365, no matter what. But on that note, no matter the views, it's always with respect. And that's enough. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. Yo, I'm tripping, dog. I've been in the house. I got cabin fever, dog.
Yeah, before we go, I gotta show the viewers something. For Black History Month. You see this? We out here, nigga. We out here.
I should have worn my pharaoh. I should have worn my
Assalamu
king.
alaikum.
I should have worn my king for neck. I should have worn a king for neck.
Anyway, I'm going to end this the right way now. And always remember, no matter the view, it's always with respect. And that's another episode of Views from the Floor podcast.